everyone. Welcome to the first ever studio chat. I thought it'd be really fun to do some little studio visits and just have some conversations about art and life and the place where they intersect. So I'm excited to have you join me today. And one thing I wanted to share with you is something that I've been thinking about for myself this year. In a new year, a new month, we're still in the new, is this idea of growing into the new. And I don't know if you're like me, you make plans and goals and ideas about a new year. And after 2020, I think we need lots of ideas and goals. And, it was a little crazy, right? But I'm excited to always do that, and it's fun for me to sit down and kind of plot and make plans. And so one of the things that has been challenging me as I've done that in this past month has been that concept of growing into the new things. And I noticed my daughter, she has a whole lot of houseplants. She loves them. She knows so much about them, and pretty often I will see her in our potting bench repotting a plant. And she does that because if you've ever grown a plant or gotten a new one from a nursery, the roots get bound up and they just have nowhere to grow. They get to a point in their container where they're just done growing. There's no more room. And so what you have to do if you want the plant to grow more is you have to pull it up, disrupt everything, and put it in a bigger space. And then the plant can grow and do what it was designed to do. Now, a lot of plants will probably just be fine if you don't repot them. They won't grow, they'll just be. There's some plants that are that way. But there's plants that were meant to be bigger than they are. And even if they were totally fine in a shallow root-bound thing, they're not reaching their full potential. So what does that have to do with art or life? And well, a lot, as we make new plans and new ideas, as I do that, I have this thought that growing into new things is kind of scary and not comfortable. But here's the thing that I have been encouraged with, and I want to encourage you with, is that we're usually meant to do more than what we're doing. And what I mean by this is that sometimes, and maybe it's just me, but I don't think it is, sometimes we have a small view of what we're doing and we can be content with that. And God is like, but hey, I've got this much for you. You're only doing this much. And there's a challenge to grow into the new. And so for me, what that's looked like in my art practice is setting big goals for bigger things. Like I literally have to stretch myself to make these goals, whether it's a certain number of paintings or releasing a certain amount of collections or connecting with you like this in our studio chats. Those are big goals that are a little bit scary because there's always that what if? What if I don't succeed? What if it's a bust? What if it doesn't work? But here's what I've found. When we place ourselves in new situations that can feel big and maybe uncomfortable, we have a way as humans of rising to that challenge. I'd like to think of it as the extra closet scenario. Okay, all of you probably have a couple closets in your house that hold all of the random things. And every once in a while, you open it up and you empty it. You clean it out and you get it to a point where it's like manageable. There might even be extra space on the shelves for things like that. And it's this big empty space. But guess what happens? Eventually, things get added into the closet and you grow into this, adjust into the new space. And I think that happens in our lives. If we don't give ourselves room to grow, we won't. If we don't challenge ourselves to do new hard things, we won't. And so I guess today, for this first studio chat, what I want to say is this. What I want to say is don't be afraid to grow into the new. Maybe you're new as an artist is getting into a bigger art space. Maybe it's graduating from the corner of the dining room table to a room. And that room might feel enormous, you know, compared to the little place you were. But you'll find as soon as you get into that bigger space, you'll expand to fit it. You'll think, oh, I can work on bigger canvases because I have wall space now. Oh, I can try this new technique because I have room for the supplies. That little step puts you in a position to launch into new growth. And it might be hard and uncomfortable, and you might feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it'll promote growth, and that'll be good. And so today I want to encourage you with this. Don't be afraid in this new year to grow into the new, whether it's in your art practice or in your life. You know, maybe there is some challenges or some opportunities before you this year that have never been there before. Jump into them. Don't be afraid to step into them and grow. Just like that house plant, you're going to thrive and you'll fit the space you were meant to be in. I think that overall, that's my encouragement to you. God has a space for all of us, and He's designed us to fit those spaces. So take a step and just go and grow into that new space. And I'm going to be working on that in my own practice this year. And one of my goals in growing into the new is I would love to have a bigger art space than what I have here. And I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know where that's going to be, but that's something that is a goal of mine. And that feels big and scary, but I'll grow into that. Doing these art chats, honestly, this feels big and scary, but I know I'll grow into that. So I'd love for you to share in the comments what you're going to grow into this year, what you're feeling challenged about, and thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.